Hey Dragonauts, what's Dragon on? Assless Flame back here with another deck. We're looking at Bant control today with the Planeswalkers, because these walkers were made for, well, walking. Before I get into the deck tech, please remember to hit that subscribe button down below to stay up to date on all the new decks coming out for MTG Arena. And with that, let's talk what we look to do with this list. This is a control deck with a top end curve of Planeswalkers. Your ideal way to go in is individually play out the Planeswalkers, use their plus or minus values, control the board, stop your opponent from doing some stuff, and finish the game with a bunch of extra turns thanks to the new card from All Will Be One, Ichor Moon Gauntlet, giving your Planeswalkers the ability for 0, Proliferate, and -12, take an extra turn after this one. It's also really nice here, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you get to choose a counter on a permanent, and put an additional counter on that permanent. So as you have Planeswalkers out, cast non-creature spells, you can actually target your Planeswalkers to give them extra loyalty. It's pretty sweet. You can kind of stack up all the counters you need, and we have a great selection of Planeswalkers here. I mean, first off, you see the Wandering Emperor. Great removal, can make a board, buff up things, and it has flash. We love that. Jace the Perfected Mind from All Will Be One. Getting a creature -3/-0 until next turn. Milling an opponent target play for 3 cards, and, letting you draw if they have 20 or more. And that big -X. Target player mills 3 times X value, whatever you feed into X, so you can mill someone for an easy 15 with Jace. It's pretty good. There's some disgusting stuff you can do with that. Also playing into Fairy, the Temporal Pilgrimage. Whenever we draw, this gets a loyalty. You can 0 to draw a card, so Teferi can just get up to high loyalty very fast. In addition, it lets you make a spirit token, and at the -12, target opponent chooses a permanent they control and returns it. Then they shuffle each of their other non-land permanents into their library. It's a very effective way to clean up the opponent's board state. We've got Wrenn and Seven. This is going to help us hit some lands, make a giant tree folk, and boy howdy, we've got 27 lands. That tree folk's going to get huge. Tamiyo, the completed sage, also coming in to this package as well. Tamiyo is actually going to let you reuse your walkers from the graveyard, because you can exile a non-land permanent from your graveyard, and then create a token that's a copy of it, whatever you -X on. So your walkers, Tamiyo's going to reuse them. Maybe you'll get lucky though and get the alt for that notebook. And lastly, the Eternal Wanderer. No more than one creature can attack her. She can exile an artifact or creature, blink it back in, make a double striker, or just choose something your opponent has and wipe the rest of the board. So you've got removal, you've got board clear, you make creatures, you get draw. Your Planeswalkers do a lot. They gotta just take over the game. If you can chain like walker to walker to walker, you are sitting amazing in that list. Now, how are we going to get there though? Because obviously with Planeswalkers, not really running creatures, maybe a couple. We need to stay alive. Well, that's where our removal is going to come into play here. So we do a 6 mana, 6 counterspell package, 4 Make Disappear and 2 negates in the main. You are primarily looking for your Make Disappears in the early game, and have your negates ready for a later part in the game, maybe to stop Invoke Despair, or some other big removal spell your opponent has. Aggro obviously can always be a problem, so we have Depopulates and Farewell as 3s and 2s. Depopulate just letting you get rid of every creature on the board, and Farewell making sure that artifacts, creatures, and graveyards and enchantments don't survive this turn 6. What's great is Farewell doesn't touch your Planeswalkers, so your super friends are gonna stay super pals. So we've talked on the removal, we've talked on the walkers. That's great, we've got it all, but card advantage. How do we keep things rolling? How do we get there? How do we get the card? Well, that's our last package in this list. And first off, we've got Union of the Third Path. Functionally letting you draw 1 card to replace it, but also gaining you life for the number of cards in your hand. So Bant Control really loves having a full hand. That's going to let you maximize the life gain of Union of the Third Path, which will keep you up and good against aggro decks. We're jamming in Laron of the Third Path. This does let you and your opponent both draw. However, the nice thing here is Laron actually lets you also destroy an artifact or enchantment on the battlefield. So you do have a little bit of extra removal in this draw package. Reckoner Bankbuster, just an easy way to funnel in 2 mana, get yourself a draw, eventually get some treasure. And lastly, the Celestis, playing between day and night, acting as a little bit as a mana rock, but letting you, as you switch from day to night or night to day, drawing a card, gaining a life, and choosing to discard. So you can filter away. Have a hand of 5 lands? Well, draw a card and discard one of those lands. You really don't need them probably by the point of your time of playing down Celestis, and manually activating. But nonetheless, it's there. So that is the main deck. That is what we're looking to do. We want walkers, we want to play them, we want to plus them, we want to gauntlet, we want to do the thing. Well, decks are going to stop us from doing the thing. That's where we play in our sideboard here, right? So what's our control plan? What do we do if we're doing the mirror match? Control versus control. First off, we've got Disdainful Strokes. We've got Scroll's Hive. Scroll's Hive is a great engine up against a control deck. You can put yourself a little bit on a clock because you're losing your life, but your opponent is going to have to either deal with the Hive or the continual screw of 1/1s that will keep popping out, especially because these 1/1s have Toxic 1. 10 damage from these little mites is going to put your opponent 10 Toxic. That's the end of the game. So you don't need to worry about dealing 20 health. You only need to deal 10. And a couple of Scry's health together can really put on that pressure. The Disdainful Strokes are really nice because they can actually protect your mites when they get rolling, or even just if your opponent has a bigger spell or their own Planeswalker you want to disrupt. Soul Partition is also a very viable option for this to come in as well. It actually operates not only as removal, but can function as a protection piece. So if your opponent is looking to really get rid of one of your walkers, you can Soul Partition one of your Planeswalkers, bounce it to exile, and recast it at the same cost. The last couple cards we're looking to bring in here against control is our extra Planeswalkers. So you've got the Wandering Emperor as a 4th, the Fairy who slows the sunset, the Eternal Wanderer, and Nissa, the Ascendant Animist. Partner that with a Broker's Ascendancy Anchormore Gauntlet, you are proliferating for days, and your super friends are going to super win. So that's control. But what do you do against aggro? Well, not much. Actually, against aggro, you're already pretty well teched in the main board. All we really look to bring in is Fateful Absence here, those couple Soul Partitions, that extra Farewell, and the Wandering Emperor. You really just want to like double down on the extra removal you've got at the sideboard, bring it in, ensure your opponent's not resolving any spell, or if a creature is resolving, it gets answered almost immediately. And you can actually look to cut a couple of like the slower walkers from your main deck into the sideboard. And lastly, mid-range. Mid-range is a weird one, right? It really depends what you're up against. Is it going to be, Esper Legends? Is it going to be Grixis mid-range? A lot of the times, what you're going to be doing in for mid-range is bringing in Scry's Hive with Disdainful Stroke. Now, Scry's Hive is a 50-50. It really depends on the mid-range deck that you are looking to target and play against. If it's more of a controlling mid-range, Scry's Hive is great. If it's more of an aggressive mid-range deck, their creatures are going to put on pressure, you don't want Scry's Hive, but you do want Disdainful Stroke. Otherwise, you'll be looking at doing Fateful Absence, as well as Farewells, and some Soul Partitions. Dragonauts, I hope you enjoy walking all over your opponent as much as I did. Please enjoy the gameplay. All right, Wrenn and Jace. Slow AF, but double Jace is like not terrible because I can also just like Jace mill them out type of plan. And we're on the play, so also not bad. Also not bad. Grixis, all right. Grixis is interesting. Maybe Tristo. It's not a bad idea. I think I'm going to go for the Ickamore Gauntlet here. Give my Planeswalkers proliferate. If they have Fable here, now I can just Wrenn and kill the Fable on turn 3, clear it. And then we can go into like Wrenn and 7. Make a Tree Folk. Okay, there's the Fable. That makes me feel better about my starting hand. So Wrenn. Oop. Yeah, this feels like what we were missing. Wrenn. Hunt down my Wrenn. Hey, Zom, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. How you doing tonight, friend? Sure. Corpse Appraiser. Yeah, Corpse is fine. Corpse Appraiser's fine. I have two Jaces, so that's interesting here. I could Jace for the 4, plus up to 6, and move the Appraiser down to not being able to attack. Or I can Wrenn and 7. And the off chance they have Invoke Despair, I don't know. I guess tap the Corpse Appraiser. And we just do this. Have the appraiser. What does this do? Whenever you cast, choose a counter on a card. Oh, it proliferates as I cast things, right? All right. Well, anyways, if I get Invoke Despaired here, this will minimize what I lose. I take more damage, but I can probably get into a Farewell pretty easily at that point. Not exactly sure that this is board I want a Farewell, but we'll see. Oh, that's a good sign. Okay. Oh, Jason? Sure. Casting Course Appraiser. Oh, maybe I do just Farewell this board. Do that. Get Jace up to 6. Bankbuster, sure. Going to draw. They're looking for an Abrade, I guess. So, how's your Tuesday going, friend? Trespasser, sure. Yeah, Trespasser's fine. I think I just want to cast Wrenn and Seven here. I'll go Thicket. Let's cast in Wrenn and Seven. Uptick my good friend Jace here to 7. Make a giant butt Trifo. And hit the opponent for X equals 7, so 21 cards. Leaving them with exactly 21 cards left. We hit an Invoke Despair, 2 Invokes, 2 She Holds Writs, 3 Invokes. Oh, wow. We hit. That was a good 21 card mill. That was a pretty good mill. And they're digging deeper. Working for making some ramen. Hey, let's go. Yep, that's fine. I'll just go ahead and +1 up Wrenn. I'm good seeing that. That's fine. Let's cast these in. Get ourselves an 8/8. Go ahead and Jace. Albert coming in with the duel. You got a duel. Planeswalker's really good. It depends on the deck, honestly. I am just going to mill them for 15 right here. Let's just take away every little blast bit answer you got. And let's attack for 8. Pass the turn. Opponent has 2 cards left in their deck. There's game 1. Game plan, we have changed up things a little bit. We are bringing in the extra gauntlet, bringing in Disdainful Strokes, bringing in the Emperor, bringing in Nissa, and we're just going to hold the board. Despair feels bad for an opponent on a hive. It does, but yeah, I'm not very much of a fan of it when I'm on the draw. I do, however, like this hand. Like, I'm not really interacting on the first 2 turns, but Celestis, the Eternal, and Jace are pretty nice. We'll just play in Aspara here. Opponent might do Bankbuster or Blood Tithe Harvester. Yeah, Blood Tithe's fine. That's fine. There's Depop. Perfect timing. Let's go Bankbuster in here. Land in, 3 to face, and Fable maybe? Yep, Fable on curve, no problem. Okay, I'll go Overgrown. I'm gonna cast in the Celestis here. Celestis will get me that turn closer to Depop. I probably hold back on Depop until Fable flips. And we just guarantee getting rid of it, right? They didn't sideboard out, they go for the throats. It feels like something you'd sideboard out against me, you know? This could just be Invoke Despair, which would suck. It is. All right. Sure. I do go down to 6 here. Exactly like dead. Just do that. That flips. Bear goes ouchie and hurts. Eternal Wander, at least. Invoke, you're dead. Yeah, I mean, if they have the second invoke, I am just dead. I kind of have to accept that, unfortunately. like they had the curve. Harvester, Fable, discard, have the treasure land, turn 4 invoke. It's always gonna happen. Need you to play a token though, friend. You didn't play a token. I wish I had farewell. I guess I have to do this. All right, I need this to resolve. If it's make disappear, cool. Go to next game. All right, game 3. All right, we'll bring in Skrelv's Hive, and I will bring in Broker's Ascendancy. Cut a Wanderer since we're back on the play this time. Might go down 1 Jace. I'd like to keep my unions. Unions can really help me through the deck. I should keep make disappears in. We cut 1 bank. It might just be cut to Fairy altogether. Yeah, it's probably cut to Fairy altogether, right? Keep a lower package. Like Jason, Wandering Emperor win this for me. Then we have the niceties here. Still keep Disappear and Stroke for answering. Probably cut Gauntlet, because Gauntlet, 1 Gauntlet and Brokers should be fine together. Not quite. Take the play. 2 lands, but Hive disappeared. Okay. Ooh, mulligan to 6. That's a good sign. Give me an untapped land. Mull to 5. Okay. It's a good sign. Give me an untapped land. If I get an untapped land, I'm feeling great. All right. Untapped land off the top. Yes! We are never punished. That's fine if this is the Blood Tithe Harvester. I don't care. I have everything else I need in the world right now. Deserted Beach, pass the turn. Down to 16. I will make disappear that, though. Skrelv's Hive. It's playing a second. Hope for 1. And then next turn we get Toxic.
I should also be able to play in a Nissa next turn if I top deck a land. So we take a couple turns of damage and then we stabilize. Third Scrawl's Hive. Do I do it? You know what? At this point, sure. Why not? Why not? We're going to have Corrupt here anyways, so. And I still have Negate held up, so. Oh, they did have a Make Disappear. Alright, so if they invoke Despair, we have Negate. If they play in She-Holdred, I mean, it's fine. Sucks, but it hurts, and we're still just attacking in pressure at this point. Corpse Appraiser, sure. Then I go to 7? Yeah, that's fine. Go to 4. Spar it in, and then I attack for 4. You block 1. You go to 6. I'm at 8. You have to win this turn. Yep, down to 2. All depends what they got here. Negate we've been hanging on to, and there's game 3. Beautiful. Oh no, we died! Shoot! No! Yeah, you're right, Scrub. Hey, Dragonauts, thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. It is always appreciated. Please remember to hit that like and subscribe button to stay up to date on all the new decks coming out for MTG Arena that we have in the Brewhouse. And as always, Dragonauts, keep believing. I'll see you next time.